WYKT, Wilmington, Joliet, Kankakee, 105.5. The Cat. Say goodbye to the age of manipulation.
Like another original as you see, this is called After Forever.
This is Bobby Midnight from Marauder. You're listening to the Southland's Rock and Roll Animal, 105.5 The Cat.
Southland's Rock and Roll Animal, 105.5 The Cat. From an ear-shattering vocal scream to a hair-raising lead guitar riff, here are all the essential ingredients for the music of bands and solo acts in the Southland's hard rock and metal scene. Thursday nights at 8 with me, Tim Lamping, on Homegrown Tones. Metal nowadays, folks, it goes by many different definitions, one of which is the screaming, hardcore, Cookie Monster, low-voiced form. That's called nu metal, but there's so much more to it than that. Marauder out of Chicago, they've been keeping it mostly old school for over a decade now. Matter of fact, they just released their first CD release, I should say, in about 8 years, called Mutiny. The vocals here are so distinct and so well-defined that you don't actually need a lyric sheet to understand many of the words. Vocals up front and clear in the mix. We've got Bobby Midnight, who is the lead singer of the band, and Bobby wears a couple of different hats in the music business here because he also is part of a cover band known as the Big Ordeals. They play their own original material as well. Sort of a mixture of blues, bass, classic rock, think the Rolling Stones, and grungy alternative stuff like Green Day and the Ramones. Bobby has recorded over 16 CDs on his own, but he's best known for being the singer and rhythm guitarist of Marauder. Mutiny is your first release in like about 8 years or so. I mean, the last thing you guys put out, Here Comes Marauder, that dates back to 2004. Why did you feel now that the time was right to finally release a brand new CD of Marauder originals?
Well, during our little hiatus, we had some new songs on deck, and we got out there and recorded them right off the bat. We got back going again. The idea was to record 5 and then get back and record another 5 more that we're working on now, and that's the idea, 5 at a time.
Well, there are definitely 5 very strong songs. Lyrics mostly dark, but there is one song that stands out where that's concerned, and that's Play to Win. That's a nice little attitude of nothing can stand in my way. I'm going all for gusto here. I'm going for the big time. No joker in my deck. I remember that lyric standing out a lot. Let's get to one of the darker ones on the record, the one that leads it off. Crush, Kill, and Destroy from their Mutiny CD on Homegrown Tones on the Southland's Rock and Roll Animal, 105.5 The Cat. A hard-hitting impact on more than just your speakers. It's Marauder, Crush, Kill, and Destroy. You'll find that as part of their new 5-track CD, Mutiny. It's on Homegrown Tones on the Southland's Rock and Roll Animal, 105.5 The Cat. This 4-man Chicago-based band has been around a while, and it's been a while since they put out a brand new CD. Maybe you have their full-length Here Comes Marauder. That dates back to at least 2003. You can pick up both CDs when you see the band rock out tomorrow night as they play Penny Road Pub in Barrington with Scars of Armageddon. Bobby Midnight is the band's lead singer. Also, their rhythm guitarist. Well, Bobby, there's a lot of old-school metal elements here. Your voice, it conjures up images of King Diamond, Rob Halford of Judas Priest, maybe even a little Ronnie James Dio in there as well. Let's talk about the audiences who come out to see Marauder. Are they mostly your age, mostly old-school loving metal audiences? Are you drawing a lot of younger people to your shows, too?
A little bit, yeah. It's 50-50. There are all kinds of people out there, Comes to metal. It's a wide range.
I'd like to say there's 2 fan bases, maybe more, but whether or not their parents introduced them to certain music, younger audiences won't shut out your kind of more traditional metal sound. Metal fans today, even though, a lot of them dig the more screaming, aggressive, intense hardcore metal, they won't turn their backs on this kind of stuff that you guys play. Let me ask you what the standout element you feel in your music is besides your lead vocal, which is very prominent indeed. I mean, that's going to stand out with the high-pitched screaming at times. What else really captures the attention of a listener when they go to a Marauder show or hear one of your CDs? Is it maybe the guitar work of Gus Delgado, and I mean, that's pretty detailed in itself.
Yeah, well, I guess the main element is the drummer, Lloyd Stevens. We got to pass the test with him with everything.
Yeah, it all starts from Lloyd. I was noticing that on the solo, the fill he gets at the beginning of Crush, Kill, and Destroy. All around, I mean, you guys are solid, from your lead singing to Gus's guitar riffs to Gino Voigt on the bass. Can't forget about him, and even Lloyd with that sonic workout that he gives the drums. When you guys get together and write a song, what has to be there? What essential element has to be there in your music to really capture a listener's attention?
The drums got to be fast. We've only got like one slow song. We call it the Lloyd test.
So it has to pass the Lloyd test. If it starts from the drumming on up, you really got a good groove going here.
Right.
The rhythm section is key here, and it contributes big time to an all-around kick-ass performance from the guys in Marauder. Even on their slow songs, there's high energy and a lot of adrenaline to keep you moving and grooving. They'll be putting down quite an intense, quite a solid groove tomorrow night when they play over at Penny Road Pub in Barrington. I picked up the Mutiny CD, by the way, when I was talking to Marauder's manager, Steve Magamo, this past summer, and that was at the Midsummer Massacre Chicago Metal Alliance. It was over in Downers Grove. I really dig stuff like this, but then again, I'm mostly your age, and I'm more into the old school metal, but I really think the younger people are really going to dig upon this stuff. There'll be heads banging, there'll be people mashing around. It just has that nice, intense groove to it all. Nice, solid return. You guys have been away too long, Bobby, so don't stay away too long next time. And this is only this 5-song Mutiny CD, and you're going to add to it eventually. There's more songs you're working on?
Right. We were going to do 5 at a time and then put it all together, and we did that with the last one. We kind of just combined studio recordings together and made the album longer, and we're working on it.
And you're going to hear some old favorites, too. I mean, Here Comes Marauder. That's got a lot of stuff that dates back to the 90s and early 2000s, and a nice 15-track solid CD, and we're going to hear a track from that, but I want to thank you, Bobby, for taking the time to share this very legendary music with us tonight. And
sure.
Go see Marauder rock out tomorrow night, Penny Road Pub in Barrington with Scars of Armageddon. Steve Magamo, your manager, by the way, in addition to managing Marauder, he handles a couple of bands who are representative of the more intense new metal side of the music scene. Depremacy out of Joliet, who we had on the show just 2 weeks ago, and Our Father's Burden. Depremacy is about ready to put forth their first full-length CD. Yeah. This goes back to that debut release, Here Comes Marauder. It's After Forever on Homegrown Tones on the Southland's Rock and Roll Animal 105.5 The Cat. Homegrown Tones on the Southland's Rock and Roll Animal 105.5 The Cat. Their co-headlining band resume includes acts as local and diverse as Analog Digital Disorder and as nationwide as Gemini.